This is Joe's Corner 76. I'll be discussing the human condition. In order to change it, we have to be involved. Do you care about what's happening? We've got a real loss of freedom in Canada. We're being controlled through legislation as to what we can watch, what we can't watch, what they think is appropriate for us, I mean the government, what they think's not appropriate for us. When you start and get state control of the media, it's a gradual process. But unless it's stopped, and unless you change it, we will end up with a dictatorship in effect. So if you care, tell your members of parliament no. Do you care about the woke agenda? Are you tired of so many small vocal groups using pressure here and pressure there on the churches, on the politicians, on the media, on business? Are they not having influence far outweighed by their numbers? Have you ever said to yourself, these woke people with their agendas, where is their leader? How many do they represent? What about the silent majority? Don't they care enough to speak up? It seems that if you oppose them, you're a racist, you're misogynist, you're homophobic, God knows what you are. I'm asking you, if you care, to stand up. Don't be the silent majority. Be the caring, concerned majority. Education. Education used to be to learn basics and to prepare you for the world of business and life and finance and everything else. But facts for facts, and they taught you truth. Now, everything in education has an agenda. Mathematics, they say, is racist. How can that be? It's because certain individuals didn't do well in it that they said it's racist. But please, math is math, 2 and 2 is 4. It's them that need to grow up and improve, not us. They want to control the type of books that the kids read. They said, well, let's take everything prior to 2008 and get rid of it. Do you know that we have a whole history of literature, classical literature, Diary of Anne Frank, all kinds of authors? And they form part of our literary history. Shakespeare, you could go on and on. Don't let that happen. We want our minds, young minds, exposed to all the facts and all the possibilities and all the literature that's shaped our history. You know, speaking about history, do you know that they are trying to rewrite our history? They are trying to put everything that built this country into today's woke agenda and judge it by today's standards, not by the standards of the time that history was occurring in. I can tell you, if any one of these woke assholes was there at that time, they would have used the same measures. We need to preserve our history, our victories, our losses, our good, our bad. That's what made this country one of the freest on earth. That's why everybody wants to come here. Everybody wanting to come here is another thing. Isn't immigration a bit out of hand? We've got more people coming than we have houses for them. And more people come every year. We've got almost 1 million quote-unquote transition workers, education, students studying for education. We need to produce thousands and thousands of houses. 143 people come to Toronto every day, for example. Isn't it time we told the government that we're not against immigration, but we want a balance? In other words, can the economy, can the housing absorb them? Until it's settled, let's stop uncontrolled immigration. Do you care about climate change? Are you concerned that only one agenda is being pursued by this government? Aren't you concerned that there are other thoughts out there? Whether it's on forest fires, whether it's on temperature control, whether it's on emissions. Do you really think, or do you care that you're paying through the nose for the carbon tax, which is doing absolutely nothing but increasing your food, increasing your fuel, increasing your housing costs, increasing everything that's devoted to energy? Aren't you concerned that this government is trying to shut down an industry that provides 10% of our national gross product? Aren't you concerned that we produce absolutely almost no pollution, yet we have the resources to help places like China that produce more than any other country combined by selling them liquefied natural gas to replace coal? Tell your government we need the resources sold to benefit our economy, to benefit our people, to help us with health, social, and housing programs. You know, do you care about the increasing amount of state control, the number of regulations you need to accomplish anything, the strangleholds that we have on business? My God, look at what it takes to get housing built. They say it's about $300,000 in cost just because of delays. Do we want to get rid of the gatekeepers? Look at in between provinces, there's interprovincial trade barriers. They say that the economy could increase at least 7%. The state is trying to tell you what to think. The state is trying to tell you what to watch. The state wants you to become dependent upon them. They seem to be opposed to personal initiative, individual liberty, and your right to pursue your dream. If you don't fit into a certain class, a certain agenda, a certain agreed upon lifestyle, you gotta care. Do not let the government control you. You are the government. Change it. You control the agenda, not them. Look, we're becoming more and more a mummy state. The government wants to provide you with health care, dental care, child care. They want you to become dependent on them. They want to give you this grant, they want to give you that grant. They're trying to buy you by ridiculous things like saying, oh, we care about rent. We're going to give you $500 towards your rent. That, on the average rent, covers about 1 week. They give you $480 or so for food. And they keep touting how they really are fighting the food costs. You know yourself, and I know myself. Carbon taxes increased inflation. Unrestricted spending by the government has caused inflation. The Bank of Canada got caught with their pants down. They didn't move fast enough. They just kept us telling to keep buying, keep borrowing. The cost of housing has doubled. The cost of rent has doubled. The cost of mortgages have doubled. This is one of the first generations that almost across the board, young people and millennials feel they will never be able to own a house. My God, they got to pay $24,000, $25,000, $26,000 for a one-bedroom apartment. They'll never be able to get out and own a house using the present setup. I'm telling you, this is the generation that's going to have less support and less progress and a lesser lifestyle than their parents. I look at what the state of education is now. They are trying to replace parents. They're trying to tell the children what sex they should or shouldn't be. They don't want parents to know. They don't want parents involved. They have agendas. They don't think parents should be involved. I care, do you? Who should be raising your children? A bunch of woke teachers? Or you? Whose values should they have? Theirs or yours? If you care, stop it. I just can't see why we are destroying the family. The place of the mother, father, children, and the interactions between them. They have been and always will be the building blocks of a strong society. I know I'm rambling on, but what I'm trying to do is ask, do you care about the state of Canada? Do you care? Do you care? Are you going to do something about it? Or are you just continuing to be part of the silent majority that goes along until the day that you wake up and find out everything you knew, everything you love, and everything you value is gone? You can hear me on Instagram. You can hear me on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, and Joe's Corner at YouTube 76. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter on Joe's Corner 76.